Hello crafters, this is Brett Lund from Roberts Crafts for another installment of your Try It Thursday videos. This Thursday, today we're going to be focusing on the Cinch machine from We Are Memory Keepers. And the great thing about the Cinch machine is it actually lets you make your own personal binding. This is with coil binding, and then also we do have the metal binding. And so before I show you how to make those, I'd like to discuss the machine itself. This is the machine itself, and the way how it works is right here is where it punches your holes. Now if it's pushed in, it means that it will punch a hole. If it's pulled out, it means that it will not punch a hole. Now the great thing is this can punch 6 inches wide, and so if you want to punch some holes and then not holes, or if you want to punch a few holes and then not, or if you want to punch them all, you can customize that. And all they do is just slide them in, pull them out, push them in. Super easy. This on the side, if you notice right here, this is for holding your wire. And so you slide your wire in, and then all you're going to do is as you're punching it, you'll place your paper right there. Personally, it's a great thing. I don't use it that much. I'm just kind of punching it and doing it with your hands. It's just a personal something if you like or not. Then on the back side, this is where it's going to go ahead and bind the wire. This is where it's going to squish it down. This right here is where it holds the paper punches. On the side, this is where you're going to adjust for the width of your coil. This part right here, this is to help you if you do something larger than 6 inches, you slide your ruler out, you line it up, you press this down, and that's going to make sure it holds in place so you have a continuous line with all of your holes. Okay, so it's going to be the same way as I did with the 7 Gypsies tag book or this one, if I'm doing the metal wine coil or if I want to do the plastic coil. So what I like to do is first of all, I always like to make sure that I have a piece of scratch paper that's going to be my project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making this project today. We're going to make a book, and so what I like to do is before I punch my book, I just take out a piece of scratch paper, slide it in, and I'm going to do a trial to make sure that it's where I like it. So I slide it in, make sure that it's flush against the ruler, and I like to keep my fingers right there, make sure that it doesn't slide, and then I slide my piece of paper in and I just pull it down. And if you notice that pulled down fairly easy. This is going to be the same mechanics as the crocodile. So this is going to cut through paper, chipboard, thin metal. I have actually used it to cut through plexiglass, records, some balsa wood. It cuts through a lot of different things. Okay, so I look at that and say, okay, that's exactly how I want it. And so what I'll do first is I go ahead and take this guy, this is the cover, and I'm going to slide the cover in, and I'm going to punch it down, and then sometimes it gets stuck, and so you just kind of wiggle it out. Okay, and then I'm going to take some paper, and then all I'm doing is I'm just punching this, and I'm just making sure. See, if you notice right there, sometimes the paper gets stuck, and so what I like to do is I like to take this and slide it down. That makes sure that I still have my the paper is snug up against the edge. And then if you notice, all I'm doing is I'm just taking my paper and putting it on my sample. Okay, now if you look, this is the back. Okay, and so what I want to do is I'd want to punch it because I've been punching all of this like this. Okay, And if I forget, I can always take my piece of paper in and put it in and see, okay, which way did I do it? Now the reason why I did this is because sometimes it might be cut a little bit short on one of the ends versus the other, and I want to make sure that both of my covers line up. So let's see. So take this. Okay. Okay. So there we go. And then what I like to do is, this is a little trick that I've learned, is because I like to hide the spine of the binding. So what I like to do is I like to take the back and flip it over to the front. Okay. Now it'll make sense in just a minute. And then I take the coil, I thread the coil through the back, and then this is where we're going to bind it. Okay. Now what I like to do, and I'll lift it up, is you can kind of see, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to squish it closed. Okay. So see how we've squished it together? Now with this case it still is a little bit open, so I'm going to squish it a little bit more. Okay, and then I take it and then I flip it back. Okay, so that way, if you notice, see right here, this is all of your coil. That's your edge. And so with your edge, what I want to do is I want to have the edge remain hidden. Okay, and so then what we've done is basically we've hidden our seam in the back side of the book so it stays hidden. And that is all that we've done with this. Now with the black coil, okay, this is another example. Okay, let's pretend that I have taken, that I'm making a book using the black coil. What I'd want to do is I take the coil and, sorry, I'm doing it backwards. And then all I do is you take it and you twist it. So we're going to do the exact same thing, and of course it would be longer. And then all we do is we'd fold over the edges, bend over the edges like we did in the tab book. Super easy, makes it lots of fun to make your own books, to do binding, and once you figure out how to play around with it, it really opens the doors up for a lot of your creativity. All of these products can be purchased at your local Roberts Craft store, and if you need more personal assistance, feel free to come to any one of the Roberts Craft stores, and we would be happy to show you the cinch where you can try it out for yourself. Until then, happy crafting.